Good evening, I'm Vasilios Bellos. Thanks for joining us. A local homeless outreach organization is responding after some of its clients have been selling the tents they've been provided for shelter. Along with tents, Elevate NWO provides the city's vulnerable with other supplies like food and clothing. Executive Director Harley says these items are all given out in good faith.
We give out resources and supplies that people need. What people do with them really is their choice, right? People have given me gifts and people have given me resources that I didn't use for their intended purposes, and I think that that's true of most people.
Govan says the sale of tents has been a topic of discussion amongst those in the community looking to assist the homeless population. Elevate stands by these individuals' rights to do what they please with the supplies they're provided, which the organization says could be used to buy food or pay rent. Govan believes there are bigger concerns in the city related to homelessness.
Why are we nitpicking about whether somebody sold a tent for 20 bucks? Why are we not arguing about the fact that these people don't belong in homeless encampments, they belong in homes of their own? We have to stop fighting over these nitpicky things. We have to start focusing on the real issue, which is housing. Whether you believe what or agree with what brought people to the situation they're in, every one of us agrees nobody belongs sleeping in the bush. Nobody belongs sleeping in a park.
Govan stresses that putting more pressure on the provincial or federal governments for more housing could be a way to ensure fewer people are living outdoors. The Lakehead University Agricultural Research Station invited members of the local agricultural community to its property earlier this week for its annual summer tour. It highlighted experiments the station has been working on, including new crop variations and fertilizers. Jessica Clement reports.
Local farmers and those interested in local agricultural research made their way out to the Lakehead University Agricultural Research Station on Thursday for its annual summer tour. Visitors were able to take a walk through the fields at the station's headquarters in Little Norway Road to see and learn about the new crop variations, fertilizers, and products the station has been testing.
We believe that, as the saying goes in extension, that seeing is believing. Anything these farmers see is good here, so they can take home. They know if something is going good here, because in the same region, same soil, same climate, it will grow good in their fields also. So basically, it's a tool to adopt and spread the technology we developed here.
Dr. Tarlok Singh Sahota, station director, says they have 51 experiments going on in total. This includes testing a new phosphorus fertilizer and measuring greenhouse gas emissions from high-efficiency N fertilizers. He says they also added 16 new crop varieties to their portfolio.
The idea is that if we don't test new varieties, we don't know there's something better than what we are already having. We have to sustain yield. For sustaining yield, that genetics is the one factor, and nutrient management is the other factor. Weather, of course, we can't change, right? So, but at least the things we can control, like the management part and the genetic part, that we try to take care so that we are able to sustain, farmers are able to sustain their yields.
The research station has been assisting Northwestern Ontario's agricultural industry for years. Andrew Breckveld is a farmer at Woodstar Farm out in Murillo. He says the facility is a necessity for the area.
It's allowed farmers to increase their acres of production, involve new practices. Our first trial with fall rye was done with Tarlock. We grew that for a number of years. We did a trial on lentils with Tarlock, and Tarlock was even able to help us source some funding for these trials. It's been a great thing to have this station here.
Jessica Clement, TBT News.
Thunder Bay's newest discount store marked its grand opening yesterday at Grandview Mall. The Red Apple store held a ribbon-cutting ceremony to celebrate. The Red Apple space at the mall was previously home to the Bargain Shop, which is owned by the same company. The rebranded store is meant to bring customers a revitalized shopping experience. The grand opening event included free $10 gift cards to the first 100 customers, as well as cake. Under the new brand, the store has an expanded product line to include brand name clothing, toys, home products, and more. They've also added a section entirely dedicated to candy. Store manager Helena Saramaki says this renovation was a long time coming.
We are the same company, same store, same sale events. very excited. I've waited 12 years for this renovation, and it's finally here.
And the fact that there were this many people lined up around the block to come in it tells you that there's a need for it. So, and everybody's smiling, everybody's happy, and the owners are quite thrilled.
Customers over the weekend have a chance to enter into a raffle to win a $1,000 shopping spree at the new store. Ignace residents and visitors are being asked to stay away from the Amac Lake Dam. Work is ramping up on the $1.2 million rehabilitation needed to keep the dam operating. Work commenced in early July and is planned to last until late August. The project includes replacing loose and deteriorated concrete, 2 aging retaining walls, a new automated water gauge. Work is also being done to secure handrails, modify security fencing, and add closure plates to keep in the fill. Temporary fencing has been set up to ensure safety of the site while construction is underway. Funding for the project comes from a $22 million provincial fund for repair and rehabilitation work at 6 dams in the province. Ignace Mayor Kim Bakery says the town is very happy that the dam is being rehabilitated.
We just found out about that not too long ago, that they are going to move forward in replacing that dam. I can't tell you how many years it's been there, but it's well due, because to control the water in and out of that lake, people will be able to use their lakefront, and there won't be any flooding.
Ignace declared a state of emergency after a spring storm in 2022 when high water levels raised a risk of the Amac Creek flooding and washing away nearby road surfaces. Back here in Thunder Bay, where residents had a chance to test drive numerous Harley-Davidson bike models today as the local dealership hosted its annual demo ride. Every year, the Harley-Davidson Corporation sends a transport truck with the latest models of motorcycles to dealerships all across Canada to give potential buyers the opportunity to try out different bikes before making a commitment. Local riders were taken on a 20-minute test ride and were able to demo as many models as they wanted to. Thunder Bay Harley-Davidson owner Mandy Shatua says she knows a motorcycle can be a big expense, so the event is very beneficial for those who are unsure about purchasing one.
A lot of people start by coming in and looking at the bike and doing the research on the internet. Like, you know, they're expensive, and they're sometimes people's whole lifelong dream is to buy a Harley-Davidson, right? So I feel like, you know, not a lot of people walk in today, try one, and go like, okay, sign me up. Like, a lot of people, it might push them over the edge, or it might just start their journey. And, you know, for us, it's just about giving them that experience and to feel the ride.
This is so fun. I love having the opportunity to try new bikes. It's not a very, normal thing to do that, so it's nice that Harley offers the demo trucks, and they're kind of making their way back too after COVID and stuff. So it's just nice to be able to come, try new things, maybe look at buying a new bike in the future, and you get to test ride it before you buy it, so that's kind of nice.
Thunder Bay Harley-Davidson's next event will be its annual poker run on September 7th. We'll look over to the Olympics now, held in Paris this year, of course, which has long been a city recognized for its fashion sense. And while it looks quite different in the Olympic spotlight, it seems fashion still rules. CTV's Genevieve Boschman has more.
Olympic style has seized the fashion capital of the world. USA! On the chic streets of Paris, flashes of the colors of all countries have found their stride.
I'm often here on business and I don't wear a bucket hat when I'm here usually.
Parisians certainly do not, yet many are sporting the French flag and gear. And the athletes? Well, they're setting trends. U.S. sprinter Sha'Carri Richardson's nails and Canada's beach volleyball looks are a hit. As always, the must-have accessory, though, is a gold medal that never goes out of style. Heritage French fashion house LVMH, behind highbrow luxury brands like Louis Vuitton, reportedly spent nearly $200 million in sponsorship to mix high fashion and sport. It seems that's a look some very stylish Parisians embrace.
Parisian style is like how you feel good in your clothes. We have some really fashion people. You dress how you want to dress.
La mode was always going to be center stage here. After all, this is Paris.
In the U.S., people wear sweatpants and, you know, regular joggers, but here everyone has different fashion sense.
That's well known among fashion-forward Olympic tourists who take a detour down this small Paris street. Recognize it?
Maybe I'm someone who's ready for new experiences.
Emily!
This is one of the backdrops to the hit series Emily in Paris, in which fashion takes a starring role. No wonder, say fans, it's set right here.
The people in Paris, they're amazing. Like when it comes to fashion.
The City of Love long ago earned this fashion-forward reputation. This is a depiction of style from July 1864. The fan is still in style today, a fan favorite. A hot Olympic items in Paris these days thanks to a heat wave that crashed into the Games. And many are planning to pack up some of that fashion sense and bring it home in their suitcases. Geneviève Beauchemin, CTV News, Paris.
And we're now joined by sports anchor Nev Van Pelt. Nev, I was trying to fashion myself a cute little transition over to sports. I couldn't think of one. Let's keep it simple. Today is the final day of the Baseball World Cup here in Thunder Bay.
It sure is. The medals were out, and we'll have those highlights for you after the break.
Welcome back now, Nev. A fantastic event held in Thunder Bay over the last little bit. Wrapping up today, it's the final day of the Baseball World Cup.
It sure is, and I can't believe it's already over.
It felt like it went by in a
sad.
snap.
It really did, but it's been an exciting tournament to say the least, and it's all come down to one final day. In the gold medal game, the six-time defending champions Japan were up against the United States, who are the only team to beat them since 2012. And in the bronze medal game, Team Canada was looking to take down Mexico for the second time this tournament. Josh Morano has the highlights.
It's a rematch of day one of the tournament, this time with a little more up for grabs. Canada coming in ranked 7th in the world, but with a little edge over number 5 ranked Mexico after beating them 7-2 in game 1. Top second, Denise Perez at the dish, and wow, that's one way to get a game started. She blasts one over the fence for her first home run of the tournament, giving Mexico an early 1-0 lead. And the team is absolutely fired up for their DH. Bottom third, bases juice for Andréane LeBlanc. She makes contact and grounds it to the second baseman. An easy out at first, but Catterall comes in to make it a tied game. Ella de Bedard looking to make something happen now. She takes one for the team, getting hit by the pitch as another runner comes in, giving the red and white their first lead of the ball game. In the 5th now, LeBlanc with 1 on and no outs. She'll take advantage, cranks one, and it's almost gone, but misses the fence by a couple inches. Mia Volk rounds the bases and comes in to make it 3-1 as LeBlanc records her 4th double and 8th RBI of the tournament. Still in the 5th, Canada looking to add some insurance, and here we go again. They drop it into center field, and Mexico going for the out at home, but it won't get there in time as the Canadians make it 4-1. In the 7th, 4-2 now, Mexico with the bases loaded, but Canada not letting them make a comeback. They secure the final out and the bronze medal as they win this one 4-2 the final. What a performance from these Canadian women over the past week, making our country very proud with a 3rd place finish.
Great feeling, great experience. A little bit of a nail biter there at the end, so it just made it even more intense, but I mean, what a way to finish. We continue to build on our success. We learn from our failures. Every game was a building block to take us where we are now, and I think we put it all together and did exactly what we wanted to do.
We had our tough time. I think one of our strengths is that we play with our hearts, and it showed during the game and throughout the weeks. We had our ups and downs, and we managed to figure our way to the bronze medal.
You know, like very proud of this team. You know, we're a very young team, and so to bring something back for all of us is super cool and super like something to be proud of.
Over now to the gold medal game with Japan eyeing a 7th consecutive win, taking on the United States. Top of the 3rd inning, runner on second for Ayaka Deguchi. She fakes bunt and lines the ball to right field. Runner stops at 3rd, but Olivia Pichardo trying to go home with the throw. It's way offline and to the backstop. Nanako Hanabusa coming in on the air, and Japan take the lead. Still in the 3rd, 2-0 Japan, and Yuki Kawabata clobbers one to right field and gone. That puts Japan up 4-0, and while the U.S. would get a few on the board, simply not enough as Japan wins 11-6, captures the gold medal for the 7th year in a row. States settle for silver, and Canada wrapping things up with the bronze in another successful Women's Baseball World Cup. Josh Morano, TBT Sports.
Staying on the diamond, the Thunder Bay Border Cats are in the hunt for first place in the Great Plains East Division, currently tied with the Waterloo Bucks in the top spot. Following a 500 month of July, the team is looking for a big bounce back, already starting out 2-0 in August as they wrapped up their 2-game series against the Wassa Woodchucks last night. Top of the 3rd inning, Sam Stem to the dish with 2 on, laces this one to right center field. Nathaniel Frederking coming in to score from 3rd, and Maddox McDonald right behind. And from trailing early, the Cats take the lead 2-1. To the 7th, Thunder Bay up 4-2, and Garrett Sloan to hit. He's going to take the 2-1 and scoop it all the way to deep left field and gone. Sloan with his 2nd homer of the season, putting the Cats up 5-2. The Woodchucks would actually come back to tie things up in the back half of the 7th due to some costly fielding errors by the Cats. Not to mention they struck out a collective 16 times last night. It didn't matter though. They would put up 2 runs in the 9th, winning their 2nd in a row 7-5 and handing the Woodchucks their first series sweep of the season. Over to Paris, where many Canadians continue to make our country proud. Day 8 featured Kenora's own Abby Dent helping her women's 8 rowing team to their 2nd straight Olympic medal, capturing silver in Dent's Olympic debut. CTV's Camille Kamarley has an update on Team Canada's success today.
History made for Canada in swimming with 3 medals, including a 3rd gold for Summer McIntosh. The 17-year-old squeaking out a victory in the women's 200 individual medley final with a time of over 2 minutes and 6 seconds. That alone is an Olympic record, but she also becomes the first Canadian to win 3 gold medals in one Olympic Games. Staying in the pool where the men also made history, Canada secured its first double podium in Paris in the men's 100-meter butterfly, the first time Canada has done that in the Summer Games in nearly 50 years. Josh Liendo nabbing a silver, finishing just shy of 50 seconds, and Ilya Karoun half a second behind, winning the bronze. While it was a silver Saturday for the Canadian women's 8 rowing team, falling behind Romania but just barely holding off Great Britain to score 2nd place.
I think we put the hammer down this year and trained hard and figured out what we needed to do. and the whole team pushed for this, and we got to deliver what we knew we were capable of today.
Meanwhile, Canada's women's soccer team eliminated by Germany after overcoming big odds to make it to the quarterfinals. Their head coach suspended and the team docked 6 points from the standings after a staff member was caught flying a drone to spy on another team. Their storybook run, though, ends here. In men's tennis action, Montreal's Felix Auger-Aliassime fell short of his second Olympic bronze in Paris with a loss to Italy's Lorenzo Musetti. And a heartbreak for defending men's decathlon champion Damian Warner. His hopes for repeating as a gold medalist were dashed when he knocked the bar down on 3 attempts in the pole vault, taking him out of medal contention. Canada now has a total of 15 medals in Paris, including 4 gold. Kamal Karamali, CTV News, Toronto.
Looking ahead to the CFL tonight, where the Edmonton Elks are going for a different look behind center in their matchup against the Saskatchewan Roughriders. The Riders come in hungry for a win, following a tight loss to the Montreal Alouettes last week, and look to stay atop the West Division. CTV's Britt Dort has the details.
McLeod Bethel Thompson is out and Trey Ford is back in. That is the word from Edmonton of who will be their starting quarterback in this week's matchup against the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
I don't want to give y'all too much just because it's going to get out there, but no, we've done our homework on them.
Some of that homework could come from last year's matchup in Week 15, when Ford had freshly taken over for then-starter Taylor Cornelius and led the Elks to their 4th and final victory of the 2023 season over the Riders.
Trey's proven to do that through his time in his career so far, and it's been successful for him many times, and he's put a lot of people on TSN, so I think the guys are trying to avoid that at all costs, but every game he finds a way to do something to make you say, wow, that was kind of special.
Last week, when Ford took over for Bethel Thompson in the 4th quarter against the Ticats, he threw for 121 yards and 3 touchdowns.
He's definitely an electric player. You know, I've gone against him, a couple times, and, he has the ability to make a lot of guys look silly, and, we just got to force him to do things that he doesn't like to do.
Although Edmonton remains winless on the season, the Riders' mindset on Ford and the Elks has not wavered.
We never look at the record because, every team in here is great. They got great players over there, and just as they're, a winless team, they're going to come in here and expecting them to give everything they got and get their first win.
But the D-line is expected to be without a key player in Anthony Lanier this week. However, Coach Mace says Micah Johnson is expected to return to the lineup despite missing practice this week. On the O-line, Jacob Brammer was carted away at practice on Wednesday due to injury. Britt Dort, CTV News, Regina.
I got to bring it back to the Canadians at the Olympics. Summer McIntosh, it's crazy. She has 3 of Canada's 4 gold medals.
She's been dominating so far. It's cool.
Summer, right?
Summer. Always a good line from you, Nev. I feel like Thunder Bay the last week or so, it's been the summer of being way too humid. Well, things you probably noticed cooled down a little bit today. That trend continuing into next week. We'll have the full forecast after the break. Welcome back. Now things finally cooling down across the northwest, which I've been liking to see. I think it's been a little too humid. Let's start with our overnight drops, which you see are much cooler than what we've been noticing over the past little bit compared to those 18, 19-degree lows. Starting out west, about a 40% chance of rain and thunderstorms on the western parts of that region. So Red Lake, Kenora, and Fort Francis could be getting those overnight. But aside from that, it's mostly cloudy conditions across the northwest. Overnight drops to the relief of many, much more seasonal as you see. The coldest will be Armstrong at 10. Many communities between 11, 12, and 13. Kenora and Fort Francis, though, will be the warmest parts with lows of 14. Moving ahead to tomorrow, we'll be slightly below our average highs, actually by a degree or two, something we haven't been able to say for quite a while. As you see, Fort Francis will be the warmest part of the region with high of 24. Those showers could be sticking around, about a 40% chance throughout their afternoon. Aside from that, highs between 21 and 23 degrees across the northwest. Out Red Lake and Kenora's way, they're going to have a nice sunny day, but as you make your way east, it'll get progressively cloudier until you get to the Greenstone area, where it will be mostly cloudy tomorrow, but that should help that area cool off as well. Currently in Thunder Bay, mostly cloudy, 23, humidex making it feel like 27 still at this point, but jumping over to our overnight drops, going down to 13, going to be cloudy with about a 30% chance of showers overnight as well. Looking ahead to our 5-day forecast, it's going to get cloudier tomorrow with about a 30% chance of showers in the afternoon with a high of 24. Things progressively cooling down, so 23 is the high on Monday, 22 on Tuesday, both sunny conditions. Wednesday, a chance of showers, and 19, so quite a drop from what we've been seeing, and a mix of sun and cloud on Thursday, high of 19 as well. Now, I'm loving to see that, my air conditioning is doing its best over the last week.
I wish I had an air conditioner the past week. It's been hot.
Yeah, I didn't have one for the first bit of this heat wave, and it was a quick call to the landlord. Come on. And
a
he
lot
was there.
of
I'll give him
fans.
that.
A lot of fans.
Definitely, and that's all you can do. Like I went through last summer without it. Couldn't do the last week or so. So it's going to be a little nicer, I'd say, condition-wise across the northwest. But that is all the time we have this evening. Thanks so much for joining us.